Okay, so now this is going to be my commerce and economics section. So it's about half a shelf. So first I've got here One Family's Journey. What was this about? Forest industry. So there's a book on the forest industry that I picked up. This next one had an interesting title. It's Aristotle, If Aristotle Ran General Motors by Tom Morris. I don't know what it's about, but I imagine it's they try to use the philosophy of Aristotle in the business world. So I thought that might be interesting. So here's some more technical history books: Revisions in Mercantilism by Coleman, and Buchanan, Ethics, Efficiency, and the Market. And here's books by Galbraith. So Galbraith's certainly a famous economics writer. He is certainly a Keynesian, but you can look him up on Wikipedia if you want to know more. So here's The Affluent Society and The New Industrial State. Those are probably his best known. Here's Dan Morgan's Merchants of Grain. So this is all about farming, and it's all about the products of farming and where it trades in the world. So that'll be good if I ever get through it one day. Controlling Interest. I think this one's about Canada. Who controls Canada? Yeah, this has got information about a whole bunch of different rich families in Canada and businesses they own, like, for example, the Molson family and things like that. So I suppose it argues that these people run Canada, but that's ridiculous. Although not improbable and not ridiculous, considering where governments and corporations are going these days. If they become more and more in bed with one another, then that is a possibility that they will become controlling interests. Here's another historical work, The Medieval Economy and Society. So that's what that one will be about. So that's just for reference. Peter Newman has a lot of books out there on different economic things. So I've got one of his here, The Merchant Princes, but he's got tons of stuff out. But I've got only one of them here, Merchant Princes. Here's some other textbook-like commerce books. So I'll just move this up over a little bit. So I'm nearing the end of my shelves. And by the way, I'm about to order some more stuff from Mises, Mises.org. The Framework, by the way, you should look that one up on the Mises.org site. So here's Economic History of Europe, 3rd edition. So that's just a textbook pretty much, or certainly an old reference book. Here is A Concise History of Business in Canada. But this is a history. So it talks a lot about the fur trade with the Europeans and the natives and things like that. So that's great to have. Here is Ayn Rand's Capitalism, the Unknown Ideal. If you're interested in that line of thinking, then that's a great perhaps one of the greatest compilations. It's got writings by Alan Greenspan in there, for example, because Alan Greenspan used to be associated with Ayn Rand. So that's interesting. I think this must be another little Ayn Rand pamphlet that I picked up. Yeah, America's Persecuted Minority, Big Business. By the way, one thing I disagree with objectivism is the big business advocacy. I think big business is an outcome of state partnership, and I would wonder if the free market was more fully enabled, whether there'd be less ability to have giant conglomerates. So, but that's a theory. I don't know if that's true. That may be wrong, but you can take the efficiency argument. It's more efficient to have a giant store and have everything in it. Yes, but I also wonder whether to grow that large, even you could take the biological argument, to grow that large, you would wonder whether eventually it's just unsustainable to manage, and thus without subsidy or without privilege from government, it's just unsustainable. You just can't run everything. It's just the communist experiment. Eventually, a big business would be so big that they'd be a communist monster. right? They would run and have all the logistics and the production of all products. It's just impossible, right? So I just wonder whether um, big business is actually the creation of government and business being in bed with one another. But anyways, here's Milton Friedman, the only book I have by Milton Friedman, Free to Choose. I have read this. I found this recently in a bookstore. I've got 2 copies here, as you can see, but they look a little different. This one on the right here is, maybe I'll pull them out so you can see them. So this is a more recent printing than this one. This one's an older printing. But I found this for, I think it was 50 cents, so I thought, oh, I'll have it 50 cents. Maybe I'll loan it out to someone or something like that. But I have read that one. That's a very good book on giving people more choice in the market and just about markets in general, and even about education, about giving people more choices in education. Can you imagine if the education system was or if grocery stores were ran like the education system, where you would only go to one in your area, you could only send your kids to one school in the area, or a few schools in the area, if you only could go to one grocery store in the area. So he talks a lot about that there is benefits and not only to human happiness, but also just to efficiency and greater wealth for everyone if people had choice in everything possible. So there's also he ran a TV program with this name. You can look it up on YouTube. I think it's all there, and if it isn't, I'm not sure if I got it off a torrent, but it's an old TV show he ran probably in the 80s. There's 10 episodes, and then there's another, they did like a season 2 kind of thing, and there was 5 episodes. And it's very good, and at the end of each, there's a topic they talk about for the show, and then at the end of it, they're hour long, and at the end of it, he has a debate, and he invites other people to debate, like people from government, other university professors, things like that. And Thomas Sowell, he is in a lot of the debates at the end too, so it's very good. You should look that up. Here's a book that everyone should read. It'd be nice if it was a standard book in high school. Economics in One Lesson by Hazlitt. So that's fairly common for people who are competent in economics, or at least know that it's important, which unfortunately seems like a minority of people. I recently picked up these books really cheap off of Amazon. It was great for both of them together. The collected works of Armin Alkian. So he also writes on property rights and what else was it? Now I forget. I haven't been through them yet. They're still wrapped in plastic, as you can see. Choice and Cost Under Uncertainty. And what's the other one? Property Rights and Economic Behavior. So that'll be nice when I get a chance to that. And the only Mises book I have is Socialism, an Economic and Sociological Analysis. His most famous work is Human Action. I don't have that one, but eventually I probably will. But I haven't had a lot of time to flip through economics. But there's a textbook as well. Not very important, I'm sure. I haven't had a lot of time to go through economics, but I have read Hazlitt, and I have read Free to Choose. But yeah, I guess I did recommend that already. That one's pretty good, Hazlitt. Okay, that's my economic shelf.